Welcome to Little Ed's Cooking with Post-Apocalyptic Food. Today, oh no, it's meditation class. Let's give a moment for our friends to connect. Come on. Find yourself inside. Breathe. Relax. Feel. And incarnate without intensity. Om jyota-hi chandoga jyota-hi swaha. Om jyota-hi chandoga jyota-hi swaha. Om jyota-hi chandoga jyota-hi swaha. Every class of Kuji-in capitalizes on the previous classes. Even more, your capacity to understand each class depends on having practiced the previous ones or having longer term experience in spirituality. And as we progress, the lessons become more subtle. I've been asked by the translators to speak slowly because I speak fast when I'm excited. Om jyota-hi chandoga jyota-hi swaha. With the first Kuji-in ring, we learned about the Vajra state. Let's go there. Formless. Before my birth, no form. After death, more form. No form. So right now, no form, regardless of my body's form. I, as a consciousness, have no form. All right. Nameless, undefined, whatever experience you can have, augment from that, okay? Good. Now, as we progressed, we learned about our responsibilities in the world. We learned how to stay in a Vajra state. It comes with practice. As we actually move into the world, where we have to keep definitions and structures very clear and respected. As we learn to behave in the world, with the Vajra state, we learn to recognize in the world the Vajra state can be found everywhere. Namasamanta Vajranam. As we advance this, as we practice this, not constantly, but moments, we realize the fluidity of nature. You probably still feel this world fixed and that you still have no influence over it. Well, the majority of the base natural intention, you can't change it. That comes with time. The more you want to affect the world, the more it will require the competence, but also the resource. So at one point, your resources are spent for the modulation you wanted. And you're back in the obedience to the natural intention. Yes, it is possible to eventually be unlimited in resource and have absolutely no limit. And that happens when you are without identity, usually also disincarnate or ascended. Okay. As long as we are here, we have to accept the base intention of nature, the structures that we want to transform or transcend. There's a reason why we can't, or why the changes are limited. We believe a lot in ourselves as an entity, as a being. Okay. So keep working on yourself. There's a reason why the amount of manifestation is limited. We still have fear and beliefs in the threats in this world. I have them. I imagine you have some. If you believe this world holds no threat to you, then in addition to resolving that, you also have to find where you're lying to yourself, or where you are immature enough to believe, I have no threat feelings in this world. From the comfort of your quarantined house, I'm sure you feel safe. But this world can be frightening if it was not for all the systems of security we have. So there is a part of us in an unprotected situation where the feelings of threat would rise, being afraid of the possible pain and what we could lose. So I invite you to not lie to yourself. Be grateful for the security that you have now. But there's a part of us that would feel threatened without the shelter. Even if we still have clothing, without the walls and a police system. In nature, like a gorilla, a wolf, a little rat. We would feel everything could kill us at any time. Basically, humans at the times of cavemen, where any tiger could come at any time. There's a part of us that still feel that. So we protect ourselves in those structures, which is a good thing. Stay safe. But take in consideration, it doesn't mean that you have no fear. It means you have shielded yourself so much that you can't feel those fears. If you walk in the middle of the night in the poorest places in Colombia, for example, you could feel that fear. You could feel that. Some of us. I would. It's a question about being honest with ourselves. Stay safe, please. Stay safe. Don't experiment on that. Let's see if I fear the world. Stay safe, okay? Be stupid. But be honest with yourself. Use your imagination. What would it be to be lost in the woods now? Very few of you would have the knowledge to survive. And those who have the knowledge to survive, you would be paying attention. What is going to go wrong now? You'd be hypersensitive to your environment. Okay. The fear is still there. Just be honest with yourself, okay? And connect with that. Not dramatically, just connect. We still believe in truth. Everything in our genes, afraid of pain, afraid of losing, afraid of death. It's very rich because it's part of the base intention of nature. Embrace that. This keeps us limited in a world with dimensions. Stay safe. Don't transgress those limits. Use proper personal growth to learn those lessons and not acting stupid. Okay. As we learned that the Vajra state was in everything, formless and undefined before it adapted to the creation. Agnaya and Maya, even in its manifest form, it still flows and everything is temporary. Jyota-hi chandoga. Okay, let's learn that. Jyota-hi is light, and chandoga is sound. Well, Chandoga is the result of chanting. A poetic way to say what we make vibrate. Okay. So light and vibration. If everything is like fire, temporary, fluid, energy, it is light. So when it's at that frequency, it allows perception. And sound is vibration. So this doesn't seem to carry energy. It is mass moving. Pull, push, pull, push. Every atom pushing on each other and then pulling on each other. Okay? In big amounts, which causes waves over an area. So a lot of the push and the pull is sound. That also allows perception. Agnaya and Maya, in the manifest form, objects are still temporary and fluid. Jyota-hi chandoga, everything perceived is energy and forces. And actually, everything lived, every experience we live is a series of perception of these constant movements. Jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi. Jiva is life. There's two interpretations, there's two words for life in Sanskrit. And we'll interpret them. Ayus means life as a resource, life force, life energy. Jiva means life as events. What do you do in life? How's life? When someone asks how's life, they're not asking if you have energy or if you're tired. It could be you're tired. But they're asking the series of events in your life. How do you feel about them? How's life? Okay, so that's jiva. What do you do for living? Okay, what do you do in life? So they're asking about your work, or how do you produce sustenance? So what actions do you take? Jiva is life as events. Okay, so jiva-hi is as life happens, like the flow of life. So through experiences that you go through. Jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi. So how you experience everything from the various ways of perception. Okay. It's not just that. This is the most boring and basic interpretation of the mantra. We're going to transcend that and go into the deeper state. So in literal way, the life as it flows, as it happens, how do you see it? How do you perceive it? And are you aware of it? It's the basic translation. Let's use all we've learned from Kuji-in so far. Okay. Vajramanatai. Okay. I skipped the personal growth parts. Haya Vajramanatai. To just be formless. Okay. And recognize it in everything. And stop limiting yourself. Okay. Namasamanta Vajranam. and everything deep in its core, just flowing impermanent like fire. And then you embrace vibration and feelings of push and pull, and the liberation from mass and from the base intention of nature. I'll explain how we got to this point, or how we go in this state. As you feel everything is impermanent and flowing, and basically everything that happens in life is an experience of light and vibration, and things just flow. And there is not anything rigid anymore because of this state of being. If you consider nature and everything in a dimension as the free flow of fire and vibrations, perceived experiences, push and pull, waves, flow of events, you'll feel karma happening. Just waves of karma. And you won't be stuck in nature. Well, not that much. So go into this state. Everything I experience is the push and pull of causality. And it's a perception. Don't lie to yourself by saying it's not even real, it's just something I perceived. It is real, but it is not fixed. It is just perception. It is real, but it is not fixed. Life, the consecution of events, jiva-hi, it's feelings in nature, interpretation. It's not as hard as we fear in nature. The more you fear nature, the less you flow freely in nature. Of course, there could be a threat. Embrace the fear so that you will be deeply aware of your immediate exposure to nature and feel it. Namat samanta vajranam agnaya yanmaya jyota-hi chandoga. Just formless, undefined consciousness taking form like fire, temporarily, just fluid and happening. And I live it as a push and a pull, just a movement, a vibration, slow or fast. And I see it. It's just being pure experience. And permit events to flow. Just, it's stuff happening. So the solution is not to get rid of the fear. It's to be so intimate with it, so connected, and admit all the part of us that is powerless in this universe, in this nature, just submitted to the events and going through the flow. Just be your soul, be as a soul in this world, Haya Vajraman, and recognize it in all things. Namasamanta Vajana. Embracing what makes nature as it is. Agnaya Yanmaya. And be close to this reality that you have no control over. Jyota-hi is just happening. Stuff is just happening. Expose yourself. Don't be imprudent and experiment by doing threatening things just to defeat your limits. That is stupid. It shortens your lifespan, basically. But still be close. Okay, go with the flow of the stream of well-being. No, don't go with the flow of well-being. Go with nature as it is, and it could be a threat. And of course, be prudent. I understand that part of what you meant. Be prudent. But be honest with yourself. The constant flow of things. Let go of the illusion that you are safe. You are not safe. You put a lot of effort to be in rigid walls, in a police system where you are kept safe. And that is wise. But in your core, purely addressing nature, there is this fear. Embrace it, your vulnerability, so that you can finally see life flow as it is as a soul. Pure perception, pure feeling of push-pull, of karma, exposed in the world of mass. And then, free from the rigidity of our security, we practice that. Purely living. And that brings freedom. That allows us to transcend dimension and structures. If you lie to yourself, thinking you are safe all the time, and if you stay far from your fear feeling, then that nature, those structures have power over you. The power of RETSU is to transcend dimension, to have a supernatural effect beyond space-time and beyond the natural intention in all things. For that to happen, you have to transcend the base intention. And to do this, you have to be connected with it. It's a jungle out there. There's joy and there's truth. There is success and there is failure. There is those who love who we love, and there's loneliness. And a lot of cool stuff can happen, and a lot of bad shit can happen. Basically, the proper attitude of RETSU is to be realist at the supernatural level. So realist, so connected to the immediate experience of life. Prudently, from the safety of your home and your walls, contemplate yourself falling freely, flowing in a jungle world. And your attitude is, how can I make this work? Some of us play survival video games. It can help us imagine, if I am really in a world with threats, but also successes, and everything you accomplish becomes much more gratifying, and everything you fail has much darker consequences. Stay close to this reality. The safety of our buildings is so wise and so prudent, but it kept us away from the truth of jiva-hi, of the flow of life. It is easier, so much easier for women to be honest with themselves about that. It is harder for men to even understand the lesson. In a seminar, I asked women, what do you do as a safety precaution when you leave home? Some women felt safe. Half the women told me, I look who's around once in a while. I try not to be alone. If I have to be alone, I don't get out my car if there's no other people around that feel safe. If there's someone around, if I have to get off my car, that like just one man, I wait or I don't get out of my car. I carry pepper spray in my purse. I never go into a corridor or a place I cannot see the entire clarity of it. Women are so often subject to aggression that even in our safe world, when they go out of their own walls, they're back into this immediate potential threat. Not in Japan, not in Denmark, very rarely in Canada. It's so rare that someone would try to rape a person or steal from you. It's so rare. We don't even feel the threat. So much our country are educated, have a high level of morality. But in some countries, women are constantly afraid of what's going to happen. And because of that, you can understand how to be connected with nature. Stop lying to yourself that safety is constant. I've felt safe most of my life. I felt threatened when I was careless with sick military people with PTSD. And, there was a time And I felt that threat when I was poor, begging in the streets to be able to eat every day. If one day I didn't beg, I hope there was 50 cents less from yesterday so I could buy one pack of noodles or something. So I felt that in my life. And I spoke to people who have never felt the threat of nature, ever. Still, don't be imprudent just to experiment. Use your imagination. Try to record in your life moments you felt afraid. I'm asking you not to dramatize now. The hard part of it is to accept, to be in touch with nature, to be fully exposed to the possibility of threat, but also life and success, of joy, of love, of closeness, of loneliness. Just be in immediate contact with that, and doing this in a non-dramatic way. If fear has power over you, you will integrate it. It will rise. Imagine losing your husband or your wife right now. Imagine becoming completely alone for a long period of time. Don't manifest, just imagine if. Don't focus on the manifestation, of course. Just imagine if your house would burn and you lost everything. And you're out alone without your cell phone, in your pajamas in the cold of the night. Just to help you stay in touch with that what if. And find a place where you accept to face that. Faith, trust, not with your mind, okay, I have to find a way, but all right, let's do this. Self-confidence, not lying that there is no threat, but humble, available to face life as it is. Ready to embrace whatever. And don't lie to yourself that you're completely okay with it. Maybe you have not been exposed to poverty, loneliness, or violence enough to imagine the possibilities. Okay? Be connected. And if fear rises, if traumas and past potential rise, embrace it. Stay close to the base natural intention. And from there, develop faith. I accept the possibilities. Let's do this. And let it flow. And everything you experience, and the push and the pull you'll go through, the gain and the loss, and what is perceived and interpreted, in all these layers, stay connected to it. Dimension, structure, the nature's base intention. And it will reveal to you that it has preserved its agnaya, its temporality, its fluid state. That it preserved its formlessness, somehow, its Vajra state, that it is still not stuck in how it is identified in nature. Stay close to the base intention of nature and embrace its fundamental truth. It's just life events happening. It's just karma flowing. But nature itself is formless, fluid, temporary, vibration, push and pull, perception, interpretation, experiences that are felt, live as a soul. Om jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi swaha. Left hand finger up, index up. Please watch my other seminars of Kuji-in on YouTube to have the precise indication and explanation of the mudra. Left index up. Right hand wraps around. Thumb and index will touch the tip. On every side. It can touch like this. I like it like this. Okay. Next to every nail. Okay. Where the skin ends, just a bit into the skin, 1 millimeter. You have a chi point here, and you have a chi point here, okay? But it's on that side, okay? So I show it here, but it's just here and here, okay? And if you feel chi, and if you studied acupuncture and Chinese medicine, it will be easier for you to feel it. It doesn't matter, okay? So there you connect an index and a thumb on the two sides, okay? Do not be dramatic on the precision. It's just the freaks that want to have everything always perfect, okay? Left index up, you wrap it, but index and thumb connect. Okay. I remember the Vajra state. I remember to be responsible and accept myself as a person and transcend it. I accept to live in this world in a Vajra state, undefined. To recognize it in all things. To see its fluidity, its movement, its impermanence. And in Retsu, Om jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi swaha. Embrace life as just the flow of events, of the formless, unidentified series of events that I feel. Karma, dharma, consciously, sanya. Light, sound, vibration, push and pull. Life events flowing. There is no structure. There's just the flow of things that happen. There is no structure. Nothing is hard. Om jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi swaha. Om jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi swaha. Om jyota-hi chandoga jiva-hi swaha. Om jyota-hi, chandoga, jiva-hi, swaha. Just stay connected to the core of your animal, exposed to nature, and let go of rigidity. Let go of the false security and defeat insecurity with faith in evolution. Trust yourself. There will be personal growth to do on that one. You'll have work to do on yourself. It takes time. The more you are in contact with nature as it is, wise and prudent, keeping your safety systems, but honest and vulnerable to the possibilities. So you can feel it's just events. It's just events happening. My loneliness is just events happening. My financial insecurity is just events happening. Then be creative in how can I handle it. Stay close to this feeling. My fear of violence is just events happening. Violence is just events happening. How can I stay safe? How can I resolve that? But it's just events happening. Let's face it. One thing at a time. This world is not rigid, stuck in the base intention. We have to work on ourselves to discover that. Bring flexibility, and you will free yourself of as an animal, how hard do you believe the rigidity of objects is so immediate, and it is not transcended. Can't lie to yourself. We live in an absolutely massive garima form. So you have to do a lot of work on the jinn state. You know, how much these structures of control, I need them. And let go. So you can move into nature and say, all of this that I perceive to be hard in perception, that I feel to be hard in the push and the pull, all of this is just events happening. It's fluid. This is where rarely some of the accomplished masters who trained into that non-distinction would go through mass. Okay. A useful aspect of those who train teleportation also, which I have not done in this lifetime. I've done in other lifetimes, but telling you, hey, I've done this in the past life is completely invalid. Could be bullshit. I mean, it's subjective. It's, you know, it's whatever masters say to be impressive. It is only valid if someone has teleported with witnesses. And so far, Shivagam has done that with witnesses in the Manjriya, because he trains daily for years and he's still doing it every day. And he has done it twice. Okay, so it's years of training to free yourself from that. I'm glad that he had witnesses, like a lot of witnesses, like dozens, during a class where it happened. Because now I can invoke the stories, because there's mentally sane witnesses who have witnessed it. So that's fun. How much we believe we are local, how much we believe that we are structured. All our life, the base intention of nature has set its limits. Control. Yeah, thank you, Anai, for saying, I saw him. She was there during the teleportation event of Shivaga. This nature, it doesn't seem formless and flowing, unidentified, okay? It takes a lot of training for your mind to get it and still accept the hardness of nature, until your vital body faces its genetic fears, does not eliminate them, but take responsibility for having them. And then it will reach the mass, the Garima part of you. And your physical mass will say, oh yeah, I don't need to be limited by that. It needs to resolve in the mind, at the intellectual level, and then at the emotional level, at the animal level, or vital, and then the mass, the physical. It won't argue. I'll say, oh, it's like that anymore. It's not that now. Okay. And then you start to use resource to sometimes bend the laws of the matrix. Right? So it's work in progress, okay? Still, practicing it will help this thing from the soul. Yeah, it's just stuff happening. The first benefit is augment your level of faith in the world, in yourself, your trust in evolution. Yeah, okay, it's just stuff happening. We go through it. We can do this. And stay honest and real. There's still a threat. Until you are completely accomplished in the body, you live in the world with consequences. Cool. All right. See you tomorrow.